in the first part, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about languages. So what languages do you speak?
Well, Cantonese and Mandarin are both my mother languages, so I'm kind of bilingual. Some people say Cantonese is just a dialect, though, but I do believe it's more than that, because it's used by a large population around the world. And on top of that, English is my second language, and I can also speak a little bit French.
Honestly, perfect. So second one, how is English taught and learned in your school?
I would say it is taught and learned in a monotonous and boring way. I mean, we spent tons of time learning by rote, memorizing the rules, the grammar, the new words. Most of the time, it was only the teacher speaking, but we barely speak, let alone applying what we've learned in daily conversations. Those classes were so boring that I would always wind up reading a romance novel or a comic book.
You know what? That's exactly the same way as all of my other languages when I was taught at school were taught. It would just be the teacher speaking the whole time, and I'd be sat there like, what's going on? I have no idea. So number 3, how do you learn a foreign language?
Actually, my way of learning a language is quite weird. I mean, instead of talking to an English native speaker, I would talk to myself a lot using the words and sentences I've acquired. So when I'm mumbling to myself, maybe I seem to be out of my mind talking to some imaginative or non-existent person. Call me a weirdo, but this really works like a charm for me.
Cool, perfect. What languages would you like to learn in the future?
Maybe Japanese, because I'm really digging Japanese anime. I grew up watching Sailor Moon, Detective Conan, and Slam Dunk, and I recently fell in love with an anime called Mob Psycho 100, an anime about an average middle school boy who had immense psychic power. It would be great to watch it without subtitles, so learning Japanese has been on my bucket list.
Okay, so let's move on to talk about a day off. When was the last time you had a few days off?
Actually, it was just a few days ago during the Dragon Boat Festival, which is one of the 3 big Chinese festivals, along with the Spring Festival and the Mid-Autumn Festival. It commemorates the death of a patriotic poet. It's said that the local people who admire him raced out in a boat to save him, which is why we still have these Dragon Boat races on this day.
Oh, cool. So that leads to the next question. So what did you do during these days?
I spent some quality time with my family, and we had some zongzi, a traditional food for this festival. It's pyramid shaped, made of sticky rice and wrapped in bamboo leaves. Where I live, people like to put in salty meat feeling like pork and dried shrimps. My mouth is watering just thinking about it.
Nice. What would you like to do if you had a day off tomorrow?
I would absolutely sleep in and then get up to have a brunch, and then I would slump in the couch and binge watch my favorite TV series or anime. You know, just turn off my brain.
Me too. Well, honestly, with feedback, I think your English is really, really good. It sounds, the way you speak sounds very native English. Even your accent is quite English. Also, I like how it's not just formal English. You speak like how we actually speak in England. You know, we don't just speak formally to everyone. We speak in slang, we speak using word. Instead of saying do not, we use don't, and you do the same thing. So that's perfect.
In the first part, let's talk about teachers. Do you remember one of your teachers?
I remember my PE teacher back in primary school, basically because he had a well-built physique, very muscular and tall, about 180 centimeters tall. My friends and I like to gossip about him and a pretty music teacher back then because
Sorry for laughing. It's good. It's good what you're saying.
because when they were walking together, they seemed to make a perfect couple.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Do you want to be a teacher in the future?
Actually, teaching is not my dream job, but my parents are crazy about this job. Not just my parent, but I guess basically every Chinese parent is crazy about forcing their kids to be teachers. They're always talking about, the decent pay, the stable life, and the respect from society that being a teacher can provide for us. Sometimes I just don't buy it.
What were your primary school teachers like?
Some of them were pretty nice. They were very student-centered and they really cared about us. I remember I was being bullied by a mean girl, and my English teacher, Sarah, saw it and she scolded the girl harshly. She even visited my home and talked to me and my parents, make sure I feel safe and secured, which I really appreciated.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
If I had to pick one, I would say it was Sarah. Ever since what happened, she had become my go-to person, and she taught me how to defend myself, how to stand up for myself. She just had a way of making the school feel like a safe and secure place.
Let's talk about rain. Do you like rainy days?
No, not really. I hate it, especially when it's muggy and rainy, because I would feel dizzy and lightheaded. I would even suffer from acne, rash, and some digestive issues. Not just me, but basically every Cantonese suffer from this kind of symptoms. We call it subhei in Cantonese. It means damp head syndrome. It is a term from traditional Chinese medicine. That's why we need to drink some herbal tea from time to time.
So does it rain much in your city?
Yes, as I said before, I'm a Cantonese, so I live in the south part of China. And we have a very, very long rainy season. We get heavy downpours and thunderstorms on a weekly basis, and everything just feels damp and sticky.
Would you like to live in a place that is dry or wet?
Definitely a dry place. After suffering from this damp head syndrome for about 20 years, I would pretty much like to move to a dry and cold place like Beijing. I just can't tolerate the damp and the heat in summer, and I'm tired of what it's doing to my skin and my body.
Okay, well done, well done. That was very
Thanks.
good on the whole. Almost everything was very fluent and very correct.
Thank you.
So good work, good work. I did make a few notes just of some small mistakes. When you were talking about let me try and remember. You said what happened.
Ever since what happened?
Yeah, that was it. It would be better to say ever since that happened or that event happened.
Oh, right.
And the last thing I wrote down was you said I'm a Cantonese. I think we would be better to say I'm Cantonese in that case without ah. Sometimes we say ah when we're talking about a nationality, but in that case, as a native speaker, I would say I'm Cantonese. Yeah, without ah.
That's more natural.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But no, everything else was really good. That was the main mistakes I noticed, but everything you seemed very confident, very fluent, you had good sort of natural words in between, and also what you're saying was quite funny as well, so sorry for laughing, but there was some funny bits.
Thanks.
It was good.
I really like your glasses, your makeup, and the color of your lipstick.
Oh, thanks.
Would you
That's
mind
fine.
if I ask which brand it is?
Oh yeah, I think it's called Natio. I'm going to write it for you.